So I guess we could give the gal a break for taking a couple days to move out of the Blue House. President Park is now safe back at home, but the question is, how long is she going to be there? So it was a very tense Sunday. President Park had overstayed her welcome by 2 days. She was supposed to leave the Blue House on Friday after the decision from the Constitutional Court confirmed her impeachment. She stayed another night until Saturday, and then she stayed another night until Sunday. And there were estimations that she may move back on Monday, but there was a lot of uproar because people were upset that she didn't seem to be accepting the decision of the Constitutional Court. After the ruling, she didn't say anything. She didn't offer an announcement. She didn't personally go and address the public. And apparently she said that her house needed some renovations. They needed to change the wallpaper. They had to fix the boiler. And they had to install, I guess, new toilets. So President Park has a thing with toilets. I don't know if it's a head of state thing where they're supposed to protect DNA particles of leaders so that people can't get their hands on critical health information that you can tell from excrement or urine. So there could understandably be reasons why she had to take some time to renovate before going in, but my stance is the same. She should have probably just gone to a hotel or something and wait for the renovations. It was a little bit of a faux pas to be staying at the Blue House like that. On the one hand, it's understandable. You can't make renovations to your house before the ruling because that's going to make all sorts of strange signals as well. People are going to read into that and think that, oh gosh, she already knows the decision, or gosh, she already thinks that she's going to lose this case. So that's quite understandable, but she shouldn't have stayed there. Anyhow, so we got to see all of the stuff from the moving vans go into her house. So if you look at this video, you can see like beds, you can see bags, you can see suitcases, all sorts of stuff. But what I like to see, like there was a lot of people putting their comments down saying that, oh, she should pay per night at the Blue House that she overstayed her welcome. Oh, she should pack up and go to prison instead of going to her house. And oh, did she make sure to pack all of the Viagra that the Blue House ordered for motion sickness? Yeah. On Sunday afternoon, all of the moving vans were going in to her neighborhood and dropping off all of the stuff. And then she was supposed to exit the Blue House around 6 p.m. It didn't end up being until about 7:15 when she actually did exit the Blue House. And you could see her in her car. Maybe she's looking on her phone, but she does look a little bit sullen and sad, like she is being, excommunicated. But apparently she had tons of people to give her regards to, and there was a lot of probably fawning over her and people telling her to cheer up at the Blue House. And then definitely at the site of her house, she had hundreds of supporters who are essentially protesters as well, but supporters waiting for her, and also lawmakers and other politicians who want to be in her good graces waiting for her at her house. And so it took from all the way from the Blue House all the way to her house, which is not that far from my house. It took like 15 minutes. I thought that was kind of like another crime of the day. I mean, who else can get there in like 15 minutes through all that Gangnam traffic and the traffic over the Pampo Bridge and going past like the express bus terminal? I mean, that was a fast ride. And so anyway, so I guess that's one of the perks that she still had on her last trip. We can give her that. And I do think that she did perhaps take my advice to exit the Blue House with her hair did, her makeup on point. Exit with like a bit of class and dignity and a smile, even though she's done all that. I mean, even though she's been impeached, she should still go out with class because she does still represent the office of the president. So I wouldn't want her to be like all sullen and, you know. But on the other hand, other people were saying that she looked too happy, and the an atmosphere at her house was one of where she was being accoladed as if she was returning from an overseas trip where she signed like a bazillion FTAs and then cured polio. And so she did not garner a positive response from people who were supporting her ouster, but I felt all in all, it was a good way for her to go back home at least on that trip. However, what I did not like is that she did not give a proper speech. She did not give a proper response. While she was surrounded by a bunch of people, apparently she did say that she takes responsibility for the outcome, but that the truth will be revealed soon in the court proceedings that inevitably will follow when she becomes a private citizen and she's going to be prosecuted for the crimes related to Choi Soon-sil and all of the other abuses of power. And that message was then repeated by her former presidential spokesperson. He was a former news anchor, I believe, at KBS, and then he is now suddenly back in that role as presidential spokesperson while he's being a National Assemblyman. And so he repeated that stance, saying that the truth, according to President Park, shall be revealed. And so her critics have taken that as a real kind of like an FU to the people, saying like, hey, look, I'm still going to fight this. Doesn't matter what it takes, where I am. I still believe I'm innocent. And of course, that's something that we should expect from President Park. It's definitely in her wheelhouse of her personality. So this drama is gonna continue on. What's interesting is that the Samsung connection has not been mentioned in the court ruling and really subsequent afterwards. So, you know, they got to stay on top of that. Otherwise, you know, she might get off scot-free. Samsung might get off scot-free. And perhaps Choi Soon-sil will be the scapegoat in the end. And then I guess people will just move on. When all of this started, I was taking a jog, and then I wanted to go to dinner. I was like, oh shoot, like this place is not that far, because I neighbored her house, like basically the Korean version of Google. And I was like, this is not that far. Maybe I could go take a visit and see what's going on. But I was like, I really want to go and have dinner. So I had dinner, and then while watching, I was like, oh, she's here, she's going. And then I was like, on the way back, why don't we just take a stroll, a drive around? So I'm going to show you a little bit of that drive. See all the police? And then one lady couldn't get, like the car in front of us couldn't make a turn, and it looked like she was probably somebody who lives near President Park, so I bet she is pissing off all of her neighbors. I don't know. But this is interesting. It's so fun. I mean, like, I had no idea she lived so close to me. Yeah. Maybe I could go over for lunch one day. Amazing where they have their houses tucked away. Like former President Lee Myung-bak lives right next to the chairman of SK, and they have their houses right in the middle of a very busy part of Gangnam, and you would never know. They're really good at finding these places where it's like almost like a dead zone within the busy city, where there's so much activity going on around it. But then when you're in that neighborhood, it's like quiet and nobody really goes there. So as you can see, I kind of drove around, and basically like it was 30 minutes after she had arrived and gone into her house. And then so in that 30 minutes afterwards, everyone just scattered, and all the people who were left were just like the police. So it's like one of those cases where it's like, geez, it's like you get to the club late, you know, like 30 minutes before it's supposed to close or something like that. Everybody gone. So, in a nutshell, President Park is back and back home. She's a civilian. The acting president is taking care of things. And then now we are on a 60-day, less than 60-day journey to a presidential election that most likely will be May 9th. So stay tuned for more. There's going to be so much more drama. There's going to be so many more developments. And in 60 days, less than 60 days, we will have a new president here in Korea. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Love ya.